Alrighty. Just fix this microphone here. We should be live, hopefully. And yeah, we're going to be continuing on with our journey into the land of climbing. How's my camera here? It's a little better, a little more centered. Yeah, so we're going to continue into our journey of climbing. I did a couple things offline between last stream and this stream. Those things would be the grip. Here we were getting some weird fluttering when we were moving our hands while gripping. That was pretty simple to do. What it was actually, it wasn't in the climb controller. It was in the player hand. Under the move delta. The move delta needed to be the local position, not the normal position. I believe there was one other spot. Yeah, up here. So these two, they needed to be the local position, not the world position. So that was an easy fix. The other thing is I actually decoupled the visuals of the hands with their colliders. I decoupled it from the XR origin, and there is a script that I created called tracked visual script. Actually, the smoothed amount doesn't really matter. I can get rid of that because it's just parenting. Let me do that right now, actually, because we're not going to use it. Serialized fields, smooth amount. Bye-bye. No errors. Okay, cool. Yeah, so there was, so this basically will just allow us to, when we grip, it'll grip at a specific point, and then it won't matter where our hand is, or our actual controller is. Will grip in a specific spot. And then the last thing I did was just, before we were kind of doing a little thing where we were bobbing, when we were bobbing down the ramps with the movement. So I just, under the player movement, there's a new adjust for apply slope here, which just does a little ray cast down, sees what the normal of the surface is below, and then it adjusts the X and Z portion of our velocity to move down the slope instead of just in perpendicular to the world, perpendicular to the slope rather than perpendicular to the world. So those were just the couple of things I did. So just thought I'd say that before people got confused between last video and this video. But anyway, let's get into it. Currently, I guess I'll show the climbing in its current state. Basically, we're able to climb, we're able to throw ourselves, but I don't know exactly what I want for the two hands. As well as I'm getting a bug if I think it's if I grip the same. Oh, we'll try here. If I grip the same sort of rung, as it were. I don't know if I get the same bug if I grip two separate rungs, but I don't the amount that it moves and like it's averaging. I don't know if that's exactly what I want. So we'll take a look at that as well as that little bug. I lost my other hand because There's I didn't update the grip points, but you can kind of see how we're able to move ourselves around there. Let me actually do that real quick. I'm gonna take this guy. We have the grips. We have 0, 1. Oh, did the 0 didn't? Oh no, it did update itself. We're good. So I'm going to take these two. I'm going to duplicate them. I'm going to move them over so we have some center ones here. It's going to be grip 3 and grip 4. Move those in order here. And then we're going to add them to the collidable mesh collider. So we need grip 3 and grip 4. Now I can move this guy up. Basically, get rid of these climbables here. This one's the one we like, so we'll get rid of these ones. Duplicate, put it up here, duplicate, up, oops. Duplicate, up here, let's keep them going. This one will be our top, but we don't have the top functionality just yet, so keep that the way it is. Let's go ahead and test this now. All right, so we have some issues with the grips or the visuals. I think it's also the hands themselves are not. They're not. There's something wrong with them when I grip two at the same time. So I thought they would be separated because of the way I had the scripts, but let's jump into it here. So let's look at the climb controller here. Climb controller has subscribing to some stuff, right? Yeah. Subscribing to the hands grab and release. And we're subscribing to the hand visuals, trigger, enter, and exit, as well as unsubscribing from those. Let's look at what's happening on release here. His climbing should just be this hand, right? Yes, it's just this hand is climbing. So end climb is being called though from somewhere else. This is public. Where is this getting called from? It's called from the update of player climbing. I feel like this is probably where our issue lies. Yeah. Peek this definition here. Look at it here. So what are we doing? We're taking the velocity. So this is us adding the velocity, which is fine. Yeah, so this should only be called when we're on the last hand that is being released. So if neither of the hands are being ungripped. Hand visual, reset destination. This should not be here though. Begin climb on release is climbing false. Visual. Reset destination. Yeah. So that should hopefully fix our problem actually. Let's go ahead and try that out. Cool. I like it. But I don't like those colliders. Those colliders need to be bigger. So let's do that. This actually should be a prefab, but whatever. We're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Oh, we need this stupid. Yeah. Okay. I see how it is. Colliders, all these guys. So our size, we want our Y size to be a little bit taller, I think. We want our Z size to be a little bit bigger as well. Okay. I want to see how that feels. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Now I gotta think about how I want this to be done. Oh, I think I know what I want for the two hands actually. I want, instead of just averaging the movement between the two, I think I would like to just divide each of the movements by 2 on its own. So there's no averaging here. Let's go ahead and do that. Where was that? Oh, I think that was in states, right? Yeah. Okay, here we are. So I don't want this. I want this. And that. And then this is being applied. Move them out as negative, right? No? Oh, yeah, sorry, negative is here. Good, 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 good. That'll at least work for now. So I'm happy with that. Cool. Well, that just took like 2 things off of my list already. So now we're gonna do the top rung. We're gonna do the implementation for teleporting up. I don't care that my touch controller battery is low. Oculus, I don't care. So we're gonna do the top rung teleport now. So in order to do that, we're going to need to add a transform here called top teleport. And we're going to place it somewhere. Ideally, somewhere in line with the thing. I should add a little thing for that, a little visual indicator. Let's see if we can do that actually. Mesh collider. Yeah, okay, so top point, top teleport. We will go to our script here. Under climbable, so top point, we're gonna do, there's this amazing function called on draw gizmos selected. I gotta remember how to do, did my thing get bumped? That's my camera. Oh, moved over again. There we go. Okay. All right, on gizmo selected. There's going to be some kind of shape that we're going to draw. And I'm going to figure out what the code is for that from another project. We have, I know I have, I'm trying to figure out which project. I think it's in a 2D. I'm gonna guess it's my, where, oh, sling jump, there it is. Assets, sprites, not sprites, scripts. Don't have a script, oh, all my scripts from the root folder, that's funny. Chunk. On draw gizmos, show debug line. So this is the line. So Unity editor dot handles color and then draw wire cube. Yeah, so it's this stuff. I'm just gonna copy this code in here. You want to have these, if you are doing this, you want to have this if Unity editor stuff here. because this is going to use the Unity editor namespace, which is not available when you it's not available when you compile. So so if the top point is null, we will return. Otherwise, we're gonna draw a solid rectangle with outline, let's say. Let's figure out what does it actually want here. So we want the rectangle. Can we specify X, Y, width, height? So we want the top point dot position. Oh, this is a 2D rectangle. I'm just gonna look this up on the internet. Draw plane on Gizmo Unity. Draw debug plane Gizmo Unity. Let's look at this here. Function draw plane. Is this Unity? That does not look like C#. Function draw plane. Oh, it's on the Unity forum, so I guess it should be. Let's just say draw debug cube. Draw debug gizmos.drawCube. Yeah, this is a lot better. This is what we want. Let's get rid of that. Gizmos.color, let's say equal to color.green. No, we don't want green because green's a collider. Color.blue. Gizmos.draw frustum icon line mesh ray sphere wire cube wire sphere wire mesh. Draw line draw icon. What do I think? Let's do the cube. Let's try the cube here. And this is going to be the position of the top point. And then the size is going to be new vector 3 1 0 1. See if that even works. Go over here. Yeah, there we go. Look. Top point. Cool. So that works. So draw, let's do, yeah, so we want the draw, yeah, we want the draw cube. But we would like it to be maybe a bit smaller. Let's put the zeros in there for good measure. And I don't want this on Gizmo selected, I want it just on Gizmo because it's kind of annoying. So this will only show up. Top point climbable has not been assigned. Oh yeah, for a few of these. The question is though, why? Because we're checking if top point is null, then we return. Why are you complaining? I'm not asking. I'm not asking for it anywhere else. Let's just do this the other way around then. I should be able to get rid of this because we're not using the Unity editor namespace anymore. Let's flip this around. So we're gonna nest this. That's really annoying. And the reason it wasn't doing it before is because it was unselected, so I was only selecting some of them. But like, does this make sense? Is there something I'm missing? Cause like I can do this, like if I serialize field bool show top point debug equals false, and then I say if show top point debug so that doesn't even work. This is confusing. Not equal null. Did I solve it? Is the is not just like a something else? All right then. Beats me. Just make sure. Delete that. Cool. In Unity code before? Yeah, I see it all the time. But normally it works. The same guy who gave me the game loader, he's a senior engineer at Unity. He said if you can, always use is and is not because you can't overload them, but obviously not in this case. But this is cool. I got this. So now I know, now I can tell if this is like on the thing or not. Let's see, does it get obstructed though? That's the question. Top teleport. Yeah, it does. Cool. Nice. Let's do our teleport code. All right. Right. So I'm gonna need to think of how we're going to do the detection of whether or not because ideally this should be like the same. So climb controller would have our parameters. Serialized field. Float. We have player movement, which is good. Okay. So float, detection, top detection, threshold. And let's say it's at 1 meter. Maybe Unity is doing an overload of null in the equals operator to prevent that gizmo error. Maybe. Yeah, maybe there's something weird that goes on if you try and use it, and they've fixed it by doing that. But we'll never know. Anyways, I gotta figure out what I want for this though. So let's do the teleport so that if if just any time it's a top rung, we'll teleport for just this quick second here, which is we've got the, oh yes, it's going to be the end climb on the climb controller. End climb, check Y hand state, velocity. We also might want to check the velocity. That the velocity is under a certain amount as well. We'll get to that anyway. So if we should have a climbable, right? So if climbable dot is top, I'll have a top check function, private. From the climbable, we're going to need to get this top point. So let's do that up here. Public vector 3. So we're going to do our get. We're going to say top point dot position, but we're gonna need to check. So let's do that because we're gonna need to do some extra fancy stuff. So we're gonna say if the top point is null, return vector 3.0. And we'll debug.log error at just so that we know what's happening. Cool. You just got to the meat of your ledge vaulting functionality implemented for your Hexbody character controller. It's not pretty at all, so I should refactor, but I want it to feel exactly as it does now. Fun. Yes, that's the part of refactoring, especially because it's like, and it's done, but it feels exactly the same as it did before. So you're like, oh, it doesn't feel better, but trust me, it is better. Right? So, you know, that's always the programmer's curse, refactoring. So we got the top point. So we're doing our top check. So in this case, we're actually not going to check anything at all. We're just going to do it. So climbable dot top position. It's going. No, we need to get that. So we're gonna vector 3, TP2. Teleporting to that point, and then we're going to apply that with the let's get a public teleport, or I guess an internal teleport. Absolute move. Nope, not teleportation anchor. I guess because yeah, it was asking for a type. Oh, and we need to input a position. Can we apply it directly to the character controller? Position. We should move it. So I don't just want, because I mean, I'll do the velocity and everything, but let's try just moving the transform, see how that goes. Reset velocity, and then we're going to transform.position equals position. If this does some weird stuff, we might try moving the delta using controller, just so that node is in there, so that if I end up making, like, if it feels weird later and I come looking at this function, I can look at that that node. So let's try that. I just want to double check the climbable, or not the climbable, the climb controller. Top check, teleport point. So this is just going to teleport at any point, or any time we touch the top one and then let go. This will do this. But ideally we don't want to do that. For example, if we want to climb down or something, that's different. Although I feel like we're not going to really be climbing down, because we're going to have, like, there's going to be no fall damage. So it's going to be the ground booster thing. But yeah, let's give that a try. Well, that's not working. What could it be? Because we have, so this guy, under the collider, has the top transform, which is that guy, which is there. We should be able to get that. I am calling this, yeah? Climbable dot is top. Climbable might be null at this point. It's the only thing that I can sort of feel like is going on. I'm gonna put a breakpoint here. We're gonna step through this. Wait. Didn't ask me for debugging because I didn't press attach. That's why. Okay, we're gonna have to wait. Didn't wait. Oh. Wait for it to compile the debug stuff. Oh, that was quick. Cool. Let's go. All right, so we are here. Climbable. It's not null. Is top, should return true. Okay, so we're going in. Oops. Didn't mean to step over it. I meant to step into it. You got to use the immediate mode window for some debugging stuff today. It was neat. What is the immediate mode window? I might be interested in said things. Climbable is not null. Going over here, we're gonna step in this time. Oh, I'm not applying the teleport. What an idiot. Teleport point. So now we're gonna get our player movement dot teleport to teleport point. I'm such an idiot sometimes. Now you can just move the up arrow and continue. Is that like you just press the up arrow on your keyboard and then it continues the thing? Immediate window in Visual Studio lets you set new values immediately or just run the code. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that. I haven't practiced using it is the thing. So I do need to look into those kinds of debugging tools. I'm just like I'm lazy when it comes to learning new debug. It took me forever even to like start using the like hovering over things and looking at their values and stuff. I was always just printing stuff out to the console. It was pretty bad. Oh yeah, you can like drag and drop the arrow. Yeah, I remember somebody doing that at some point. So this should work now, now that I've figured out how much of an idiot I am. Something was red. Look at that later. Ah. Maybe I'm not as much of an idiot as I thought. Let's try this one more time. So teleport point is 0, 0, 0, 0. Well, it is now. What is this? Okay, so this is that. So that should get assigned here. Yes, it does. So we've got this teleport here. We're gonna step into this. Reset the Y velocity, that's fine. I don't need to see that position to this position. Negative 791, or we should look at the Y value. So 5.92, 6 point. So this is assigning. It's probably, we need to use the move. Probably need to use the move here instead of what we were doing before with actually moving the what's it? Because probably the character controller just sets the transform. So we're probably gonna need to do whatever this is. So we're gonna need we need a vector 3 move delta, and that's going to be the position that we're taking in minus our transform dot position. And then we're gonna need to character control, not TMP character, probably added a using up here. Back to where we were. And then we're gonna have to character controller dot move the move delta. That would be smart, Beard or Die. But I've proven today that I am not smart. So we're just gonna do this like this. Because I'm stubborn. There we go. That was it. Great. The only thing I'm concerned about is we should actually be offsetting it based on the camera's X and Z position as well. So let's do that. I didn't think about that before. So let's take a look at, so we need a vector 3, which is going to be camera offset. That's going to be a new vector 3. And that is going to be the camera dot X 0.f or 0f, sorry, my C++. I was programming C++ today. Dot transform dot position dot X, because I don't want to type all that out again. Do that. Oh, and then we're gonna get this. Let's just do this. There. And we'll say this is the player position. So that should take the camera offset into account. And we're still using Y because we want the feet. of the player to be teleported to that point, but we don't want, but we want it to be offset in the X and the Z direction by the camera's position. Cool. I have full faith in that working. Now let's test out a let's get a actual detection point of when we're gonna do this. I'm actually, did I put it on the grips? I don't test it. Test it, lol. We'll test it when we do the when we take a look at. I just want to monitor what the location is so that we can get a trigger point. Which is just going to be a debug monitor. It's going to be in the climb controller. Get rid of that breakpoint. Top check, teleport point. Then we're gonna get the I only need the Y, so we're just gonna say float local Y is going to be the transform well, it should be just the local Y. I shouldn't need to do any math on this. It should be the transform.localPosition.y. So let's look at that. Or you know what? We shouldn't do it on a fixed height. We should do it on a percentage of the camera's height. So let's do that. How do I want to get the camera then? I can get it through here. Let's just pass the camera, say head position. We'll call it head position over here. And we're going to get the camera.transform.local position. It even knows that I want the local position. Isn't that lovely, Visual Studio? And we're just for now going to vrdebug.monitor under 1 the player movement dot local head position dot y. And then whoops, going back here. So we've got, actually that's not what we want to monitor. Hold on. We're gonna get the local dot y minus, except for it should be in the other direction, minus that, and then that will be divided by the player's height. And that is then what we're going to look at here. So that's going to be the vector 3 hand percent. And this is going to be a float actually. And then that hand percent, that's what we're going to pass in. So let's take a look at what feels right in that regard. Oh, we got compiler errors. What did I do? What are we expecting? Oh, I've got an extra one of those. Okay, let's see what feels right. Gonna be useless because I've got the state on the first monitor, so we got to go to monitor 2. Take 2. So it's like 45%, like right at the bottom. So I honestly could have printed that out. I forgot that that wasn't being called every frame. So let's set it to 5.5 though. Sounds like a good number. We can fine tune it later. So these are going to be on the hands. Look at our climbables. Climbable player. Then we got the left climb controller and right climb controller. Hand visual top threshold 0.5. Let's go back here. We're gonna set this as a default to 0.5 as well, just in case. So top detection threshold. Top detection threshold. We got the hand percent. Don't need to monitor that. And then we're gonna say if player if hand percent is, so this should be, if it's closer to your head, it should be closer to 0, right? No, because 4-5, my arms are longer than half of my body, so it should be less than. See if that works. I don't want to think too hard about it. So if this is the case, we'll do this. I'm actually going to return a bool here. If top check return. So return true. Return false, and then the rest of this will happen. Can you turn gizmos on in the game view and put the sphere on the point you want to visualize? I don't. It might show up for you guys on the viewport game, but I know for a fact it doesn't show up for me. Like, are you talking about the like the teleport point, like the that threshold I was talking about? Because it's not really a specific point; it's more of just a Y value, so it's almost like it would be a line. I'm gonna give this a try. We're also probably gonna need to take velocity into account as well, but if our exit velocity is going to be big, then we shouldn't be applying the top teleport. I stopped being able to move. And we've got a lot of null reference exceptions. Yeah, I know I can turn them on here. I don't know. Something's not working here, I don't think, because they are technically on here, but it's not showing up. But what is this null reference exception? Climbable is top. If climbable dot is top check. So our climbable was null there. But it wasn't before, right? Climbable dot is top. Top check return. I'm just gonna do it again and see if it does it. Okay, so A, that less than equals sign is backwards. It's gonna be greater than equal to 5. But now we have issue with a null reference exception. I'm gonna break in here. Player movement, local head position, local position. Okay. So we have our height percentage. It's greater than, or it's, no, it's not. So this is where we were, oh, we're returning false. Okay, so we're continuing here. Hand is not null. Time to delta time should not be null. Player movement should not be null. Velocity is what we just set here. And this is definitely not null. Continue. Don't get any errors. My Fitbit is gonna love me, yeah. It's actually, I'm more of an Apple Watch kind of guy. I know, unfortunate. How's my camera doing these days? It was kind of drifting before, and it still is drifting. The wire on it keeps pulling it over to the edge. I used to play at the beginning of COVID. I played a lot of Population 1, so this is nothing compared to Population 1. If you ever try and climb the tower in Population 1, your shoulders will be feeling it. I'm going to make sure 100% that I actually had it below my waist. Because I don't think I did last time. Okay. So we're in here. Player movement is not null. Good. We have a amount. Yes, 5.4. That is above 0.5. So we're going to move in here. Climbable is not null. That's good. Player movement should not be null. Teleport to teleport point. Let's step into this. Character controller is not null. Step out. We're returning true. We're not changing the state. That might be a problem. That's probably why I wasn't moving. It should also be grounded. Oh, I cut it and pasted it. Let's airborne. It's not a good threshold. I think I need to back it off to 0.4. Cool. Let's make it 0.35 actually. I'm also gonna make this a slider because it would be pretty. Okay. We should actually grab this. We should actually calculate the velocity first and then check if that's over a certain amount. Before we even check the hand position. So we're gonna serialized field float top velocity override, excuse me, say, 10's a bit high, say 3 units per second. Definitely need to have a runtime visualization at some point of where that threshold is, so you can be confident and know it's safe to let go. Falling off a ladder. I hate how this like emoji button is like right in my way of the chat, so I can't read stuff. So you can be confident and off a ladder and dropping is terrible in VR. Yeah. Yeah, I'll think on that as far as like if there's some in-game way I can make that make sense. There's also just there would also just be playtesting and seeing if that's how people, like if people feel like it's natural or not. But definitely something to keep in mind for sure. So yeah, let's check that. So I put in that top velocity override. So let's check that first before we check this. So velocity, we're gonna move that up here. If the velocity dot square magnitude is greater than, is there a math f dot power? I don't feel, maybe that's not cleaner. I think if there's a square function that might read a little better, but so it's that top velocity override times top velocity override. Let's say it's equal to as well. And actually we're gonna go the other way. We're gonna go less than, then we're gonna start nesting these bad boys. Oof, gotta love the triple if nest. So now we should be able to yeet ourselves and it not teleport. I'd say that works, but I think I need to put a velocity cap on my yeetage. Cool. Great. Now I'm just gonna put I'm gonna put these in prefabs under dev. I'm gonna take this climbable. Dev climbable. Yeah, the yeetage was a little bit dynamic for sure. That's what happens when you're not a flat screen developer trying to make VR games like a flat screen developer, like in Assassin's Creed. Where am I? Where are those points? Those grips are on which side? They're on the other side. Okay. So we're gonna be like that. And that is now going to have a top point. Which we'll be able to place like that. Now we'll get another dev climbable here just for good measure. Just in case we're not tall enough. And we're gonna check. So the reason why I'm putting this here is because I want to check the other direction. I want to make sure it works because this is obviously it's aligned with the Z direction of the world. I want to make sure it works in the X direction of the world. now put 2 climbable walls right next to each other if they're at 90-degree angle and see if you can climb up both of them simultaneously. Ho, the man's got ideas. Let's do that. I'm gonna grab, we need to get out of play mode. Let's grab this. Let's just duplicate this guy with all of the, ooh, this is gross. I'm gonna child all these to that cube. Which cube was it? 4. Yeah, there we go. And then we're gonna duplicate this guy. Going to rotate it the good old-fashioned 90 degrees. And put it like that and see what we get. Let's grab our, where's the light? Directional light. I want to rotate it a bit so that we don't, so we can see what we're doing here. Here we go. Make sure that our player is not currently in. Okay, we're good. But I will move him over here. Yeah, I'd say that works. There is one problem that I know we have, and I'll show it to you here. And I don't know what I want the solution to be yet, but if I pull myself into the wall, it like moves the character controller, but then when I push back, it moves it back. So I end up actually moving myself away from the wall a whole bunch. I'm thinking the solution is to have like a deficit buffer that tracks it. Basically what we'd have to do is track the expected position of the player and the actual position that the player had, based on how much they actually moved, and then add that to like a deficit buffer so that it doesn't, when I move back away from the wall, it's going to not apply a backwards direction. But then we also need to make sure that that is aligned with the with the wall itself. I think, or I guess we could just deficit, like the deficit could be a vector 3, but honestly I feel like I might play around with that. I might play around with that later. I'll show you guys what it is just so that you know what the problem is. But if I grab the wall here and I pull myself into the wall, my arm comes back and I'm able to push myself far away from the wall, right? But then I can't grab the wall again. In Wrath 2, when you pull yourself into the wall while climbing, it just kills you and respawns at the bottom of the ladder. Yeah, no, I don't like that. I don't like that solution at all. I especially hate, like, I feel like that was like mostly an old game thing where if you clipped the camera into a wall, it would do some sort of like weird, like get back into the play area sort of thing. Because they were concerned about people feeling weird about like being moved by a wall that wasn't there. I'm not a fan of that, but I feel like for the most part we've gotten away from that. But obviously Wrath 2 hasn't. I think Assassin's Creed Nexus even was like, hey, get your head out of the wall, you dum-dum. So, but I think like Boneworks obviously and Bone Lab don't do that. But I feel like I've played some other games that don't do that. But now, what time is it? Oh, okay. I feel like I want to go at 9 here. So, just thinking if there's anything that I can button up. Right, yeah, there's like some weird thing that it does. Yeah, not a fan. Just thinking here. What else is there to do? Because I don't want to get into the grapple hook just yet. Maybe I'll just create the reticle for the grapple hook. Because that looks cool. I'll just pull it from the it's gonna be a temporary one, but I'll pull it from the from my other project here. Basically what I had before is I had these 2 spinning circles that would like spin in opposite directions. When you point your grapple hook at the grapple point, there would be this reticle that would appear with these 2 sort of circles that would sort of rotate on each other. So I'll pull that in. And I had them sort of offset as well, so there was like a 3D effect. So where's the old project? Assets. Sprites or textures? Reticles. Grapple.psd. I should be able to grab the script as well, actually. Let's not pull it in there, actually. Yeah, sprites and textures are separate things. Close all this stuff. So we're art. Dev. Materials. No, not a script. Now I gotta wait for Unity. Here we go. We're gonna create. Oh, I gotta figure out. Is that how you spell reticle? Yeah. Just making sure I'm spelling it right the first time. Create a new folder. Reticles. And then we're gonna grab in grapple.psd and the meta file. That all should be good. Remove PSD mat, yes. Because if I include the meta file, then I should, in theory, be able to grab the script and just dump the script in onto it. Actually, maybe I don't need the meta file for that. Scripts. Grapple reticle.cs. Let's go to scripts. Player interactables. Do I want to put it in UI? I don't know, maybe it's in the player. No, I'll create a UI folder and put it in there. Grapple reticle.cs. I feel like you could abstract it to just reticle and then, because I'm not like inheriting anything. So there's the inner speed, outer ring, outer ring. So those are quads. So I'm gonna have to set that up. Oof, it's the old gross, or the default text, default comments. Ugh. Private, thank you very much. We'll set it up here. What was it? Oh, we need the inner speed, outer speed. Did I not have a... Oh, I had a separate billboard script, that's why. Is that in here? We'll do that separately. I don't need it to face anything right now. So we're gonna have the full reticle. Where is... Oh, that's really far back. Let's just zero it out. Even if I do move it over, oops, yeah, over there. Sure, let's put it there. So we're gonna have the inner and the outer. Oh, we're gonna need to make materials out of these first. Not UI. Well, actually, before I get rid of that, we're gonna drop that on there. And then we're gonna go to art, dev, sprites, reticles, grapple. We're gonna right click, create a material. It's going to be transparent. Then under here, we'll grab the not the 2D, the 3D quad. We're gonna drop the grapple material on that. Huh. I think actually I want this material to not to be lit. Universal render pipeline unlit. There it is. Oh, can I see the... No, that's just the bloom. Great. And then I know for certainty that I'm actually going to want this to be the back face, because I want to use look at. And look at, for some reason, the normals of the quad look away. When I say look at the player, it actually looks in the opposite direction. So we're gonna do the back face. Where, isn't that on the mesh? Dynamic occlusion, blend probes, cast shadows, materials. It's not on the material, is it? Anchor override. Mesh material, layering. No, is it on the... Oh, render face, it is. Okay, so back. And then we're going to flip this around for now. Then we're gonna duplicate it. So this is gonna be the outer. This is going to be the inner. Make it a little bit smaller. And then we're gonna rotate it a little bit. Then we're going to outer ring, inner ring. I'm gonna move the whole thing down here so that we can see it in action. Grab the inner one, move it a little bit forward. And then it should look really cool. Needs to be faster. faster than that. And then we will just go into the, okay, we'll set those. So that was 200 and 175. Then we're gonna go back into scripts. Create a general. No, not the script. I want the folder. Yeah. I'll look at negative player forward. I'm not sure if that works. Because usually when you say look at, it's looking at a specific point in space. So if you do the negative, because it's a world point, right? Yeah, the quad faces the opposite direction. Create board rendering C# code. I think there's a billboard built into Unity, but I'm just gonna do mine so I have control over it. Oops. Serialized field, private form. So if we drop this on the player, this also, we're going to need to create a new layer. This layer is going to be called, oh, we have a UI layer. Never mind. This is going to go on the UI layer, which we won't worry about having a separate camera for now. And then we're going to drop our come on. Okay, fine. Be that way. UI, no, general, billboard, hyperpedicle. And we're gonna billboard that to the player camera. Maybe it's not the back face. Maybe they fixed it since, because I'm using 2022 now instead of 2021. Maybe they fixed it. Let's go to art, sprites, reticles, matte, go to front. Oh, you know what? It's because yeah, it doesn't matter which. It doesn't matter which one what I do for this, because it's the game object that's looking in that direction. So it doesn't even matter. All right. Pretty happy with that. I do think the quad does face the other direction, though, if you are actually asking the quad to face you. But of course, in this case, since I have multiple quads, it doesn't matter because I'm facing this game object, so it doesn't. It's just the game object's Z direction that's going to look in that direction. So, but of course, try it yourself. See if I am actually correct or if I'm just spewing nonsense. I do want this inner one to be up forward just a little bit more. Just for depth perception reasons. And the last thing I'm going to do is make this UI camera work. Because basically what's going to happen here is it's going to be at, like, say, the top of a ledge, right? So let's do that and put it at the top of the ledge. So let's say it's right here. It's going to clip into this wall when it's orienting itself. Like so, right? So now what we can do is go to our player, go to our main camera, and we create another one. This camera will not have an audio listener. It will be an overlay. We'll have the same perspective. Should have the same properties here. So I'm going to copy components, paste them here. Still maintains the overlay. Sure, let's keep post-processing. Culling mask, we're going to do nothing, and then we're going to click on UI. So it's only going to do the UI. We're going to rename it to UI camera. And main camera is going to have a camera stack with UI camera overlay. And then in our good old-fashioned where is it? Culling mask? Where's the culling mask? Everything. We're going to deselect UI layer. So allow this. It's not that expensive. If you're not rendering very much onto it, it's not that expensive. If you are doing a whole separate image without transparency, then yeah, it is very expensive. But no, it's something that is very, very common. Very, very commonly done. So now, it no longer clips. What is very expensive is if you want to do something like what Boneworks does, and you have a separate camera for the spectator. Now that is expensive. But no, literally all that's being rendered on this camera pass is this. Because basically you can think of it as 2D textures, two 2D textures. And then you're going to call the render on each of the objects, and the object is only going to paint the pixels that it's going to occupy. It does sort it by Z buffer, so it's going to do it in order of what's furthest from the camera to the closest to the camera, I believe. Yeah, to make sure that anything that's closest to the camera is then putting stuff on top. But doesn't really matter which one it's putting its pixels onto, and then they just, anything that's clear is just discarded and when you composite it together. Now, if you do world space UI, you cannot put it on the UI layer. So just watch for that. I haven't had issues, but if there are issues, then you can say that you told me so. Yes and no. Text Mesh Pro is, you can put world text. It depends. If it's on the canvas is its own pipeline. But yeah. But just doing a separate camera for the UI is not. It's something that's very common in 3D games. Like, you can go back quite a ways and find stuff like that. Anytime that there's in-world text labeling, like I'm thinking like Dead Space hologram UIs, or even like when you walk up to a door and there's like a button prompt on the door that's like in world, or like a little dot or something. Usually that's a separate camera. That being said, we're past 9 o'clock my time anyway. I don't know if any of you are in New York or Toronto or something. It's almost midnight, or it's after midnight. But I think that'll be it for today. We'll do the grappling hook next time, and hopefully I will have a solution for my wall problem. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. I'm happy with my ladders. I'm glad you are as well, Beard or Die. Thanks guys for hanging out, and I hope I get to see you guys next time.